Put me 300 years ago, dude. I am a criminal, dog.
Yeah.
We're live.
Ooh, man.
Iron Palace Podcast.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Iron Palace Podcast, the world's most anabolic podcast that keeps your gains up and your excuses down.
I like that.
I also like that I think we're just going to start skipping the Dave's intro part.
Sorry. Trigger happy again.
I saw Alan into the corner of my eye as soon as I said it. Immediate smash.
He come off the top rope.
I wasn't ready for you.
He was standing on the chair with his elbow out, waiting for you to say we're
I
live.
am breaking this WWE collab C4, so maybe.
WWE Collab C4.
They collab before or after Vince stepped down.
It's got him wired.
It's called Barry Powerbomb.
Oh,
It's actually
All right.
pretty good.
I'm sold.
That was definitely before Vince left.
Yeah, he would have it called, I don't really want to know.
Raper's milk.
Okay, so moving on. Dave sent me the icebreaker today. Shocker. It's usually where I get them. Okay.
shocker.
Is so if you had to go into witness protection, what would your backstory be?
And your name. It came up the other day at work. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I'm Ronald Macchiato.
Oh, so you've already had this conversation.
Yeah, Corey
That's
Bear.
cheating.
Corey Bear asked me the other day. We were talking about this guy Robert we work with, about how big and bad he is. I was like, dude, I've already got an alias ready for in case like I ever upset him. And then Corey was like, what was it? So I was on the spot and I had to come up with one. And yeah, it was Randall Macchiato. Telling everybody I'm a brain surgeon, going into the family business. I've already don't look at me like that. I've got it. You ready? Watch this. Tell me this isn't convincing brain surgeon. Ma'am, your husband's not going to make it.
Right.
Well, my only thing is, if you pick something like brain surgeon,
Nailed it.
if you pick something like brain surgeon, people are going to ask you a lot of questions about brain surgery. That being said, though, you're the excellent person to answer
Ask
those
me a question about
questions.
brain surgery.
Well, here's
All
the
right.
thing, though.
Well, Dave, sorry, what was your name? Ronald Macchiato. Doctor, I've got a weird lump in the back of my head. What do you think it would be?
Dude, you're going to have to remove that cerebral cortex and realign your chakras. I can do it for a small fee. I'm going to need a 5/16 nut driver, a Sawzall, and 2 purple Smarties. But I think you'll pull through.
All right, well, immediate. Okay, I mean, I'm sure someone would buy that, but
But, you know,
I said it with confidence, though.
yeah.
I mean, you did. There was definitely no lack of confidence in that answer.
The sweet tarts were just in case you're having a bad day.
Oh, no, I never doubted
Everything
the sweet
else is
tarts. Honestly, if a doctor told me that, I was like, all right, yeah, we've got to do this, this, and this, and I'm also going to need at least 2 blue Laffy Taffies. I'm like, that's the part I don't have questions about.
Maybe I should have said 1860s brain surgeon.
Yeah.
Hammer?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he's drooling. Give me a chisel.
Yeah.
You'd be the
Needs a lobotomy.
you'd be the guy. I forgot his name on TikTok. Hammer.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be. Don't worry about it.
I don't know that guy.
I know you don't.
Yeah.
Tank. His name's Tank.
Anyways,
Oh, but I was just thinking, though, because, like, I've known this doctor my entire life. He's a gastroenterologist. I've never asked him any GI questions, though. You know, I'm never like, hey, so when the colon does blah, 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 you know, because
what's
it's
the
just
average
not that
exit
interesting.
ramp speed on an adult male?
You know, yeah, like,
Well, yeah, but Holland,
I
that's
mean,
because
like-
you never have anything going on. I don't mean like.
I think you have
Millsaps.
plenty going on, Holland.
Yeah,
Don't let him talk
thank
to you
you.
like
Oh,
that,
Jesus.
dude.
thank you. Yeah.
I'm saying like nothing. There's no illness that will ail a Millsaps. I think your brother proved that by getting hit in the face with a tree.
Taco Bell's a different animal.
And then, like, completely turning into Wolverine and healing
Yeah.
in, like, a
hell of a
week.
toothpick.
So therefore, obviously, you're not going to ask a doctor what's going on with my
But
body.
everybody gets a rough tum-tum every now and again.
However,
But
other people might.
yeah, okay. Well, I'll give you that.
So, anyways, proceed with what's your
I'd hold my belly
backstory?
to his ear and goes, "Does this sound normal?" Let it make whale noises.
You would fart like you did right before we started recording. You go, what can you tell from that?
Sounds that sound terminal?
You'd be like,
We need surgery now.
man, you would treat them like Joseph in the Bible. Be like, what does that fart mean? Yeah. Like, people have a dream. What's that dream mean?
Interpret this fart.
Yeah.
We've discussed it. I'm more of an oomancer.
Okay. Anyways, what's your backstory, Holland?
I am a antique book collector.
I buy that all day. I'd buy that.
Chuck Fizzlestick.
Chuck Fizzlestick.
Wait, what did you say?
I was going to say Harmon Killebrew, but then that's a real person. So
Hold on, but it sounded like you said Chuck Fizzledick, which is way different.
His Christian name is Chuck Fizzle Richard, but his friend.
Got it.
Richard. I don't know.
Yeah, I would buy that. I could see you being like, have you seen the movies The Librarian?
Yes.
Yeah, I could see you being like librarian, but you're like
I want to be a librarian.
better version of Indiana Jones.
You could be Russell Whistlemurmur.
Why are all your last names like two words put together?
His last names are weird, and like you don't want to use an existing last name. And like Smith, that's kind of lame. Like one singular last names just don't sound like last names to me. I don't recognize those last names out here.
It's not a real last name.
My last name is literally 3 letters.
Yeah, and it's not real.
Not a real last name, dog.
That's like
Someone was adopted somewhere, and they're like Jane Doe, nah, John Day.
how you know my cousin.
Told you.
That's my favorite joke that no one ever laughs at is whenever I see anything with Charlie Day in it. I go, it's my cousin. It never works. No one ever believes me.
Someday. That's showbiz, baby.
One day someone will, and I'm really going to go on a long tangent about it.
Dude,
Caleb.
and those 8-year-olds are going to think you're so cool.
I
All
think
of Caleb's relatives, someday, one day.
Yeah. The other day,
Tuesday, Wednesday,
that day, this day.
Monday, Wednesday, happy days. I think my name would be Cottony Michelle. I think I would work in a train yard. I would be a fan of one of the worst football teams in college football. I think that's what I would do.
Do you have the beard for that though? Because that
Implants.
That,
I would.
ID sounds like it requires
Yeah.
a thick, luxurious beard.
That's why I'd get implants. Has to be gray.
Yeah.
Cannot be a color in that beard other than gray. Maybe like salt and pepper.
Yeah.
I think that'd be it. Have a real obsession with alligators.
Yeah.
Buy a bunch of pitchforks. Put little foam alligators on the ends of them.
Yeah.
I think that's what I would do.
Too bad nobody that.
To seal it off, I think I'd become a diabetic.
It's the little details that tell the story.
No, yeah. See, you got to make it believable.
Like Randall Macchiato limps.
What does he limp from?
Don't ask. He doesn't like to talk about his time in combat.
Oh, it's like it's a cerebral thing, but he can fix everybody else's brains but his own.
No, I was saying more of a Gulf War thing, but whatever.
I don't know.
Okay.
So what do you know about trains?
Yeah.
I know some go fast, some go slow. Some carry freight cars, some have, passenger cars on them.
I knew it. I'm Jim Councilman, and I'm a pilot.
Basically,
Jim Councilman. Yeah.
Basically, I can
Pilot
tell
Jim
you anything
Councilman.
you want to know about it, but I'm not supposed to tell you. So
Oh,
I'd be here all day. I don't have the time for
The
it.
railroad
It's
won't
above your
say.
head,
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You're not.
Hold on a second.
Yeah, I can't talk to you.
I'm on call. I got to check it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm good.
Oh man, I got to go to Corbin.
We got to
Yeah.
grease the flux capacitors. I'll get back to you.
Yeah, a lot of coal. Deal with a lot of coal.
You feel that?
Luckily, the new
I gotta-
guys are the guys that shovel the coal.
So you're still.
That's the only way to go. All these fancy new guys think it's all about the new trains, buddy. Let me tell you,
Let me tell you.
ain't nothing like a coal-driven train. Them locomotives will go, buddy. I tell you what.
He's the guy that derailed the train at Dollywood.
Actually, it was Silver Dollar City then. So,
Confederate Junction.
and Cottony Michelle is old enough to know that. So, Also, Courtney Michelle buys everything off Temu.
Yes.
Nowhere else. TikTok shop doesn't count. Temu, every time, buddy.
It's really a shame that Liberty Mutual took the whole emu thing before Temu could get to it. Because the Temu emu is way better than Limu emu, if you ask me.
Oh, yeah.
What's a Limu emu?
You know
Liberty
the commercials?
Mutual.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha.
The Limu emu.
Okay, sorry.
That's like the only commercial I know because it has my favorite actor in it, the emu.
I was really expecting you to pull out that guy's name.
Whoa.
Like, you were going to be like,
That'd
yeah,
been
my
awesome if I
favorite
knew
actor, Paul Frankenfrank.
And the Grammy for, they don't give Grammys for commercials, but they do for Paul Frickenfrack. Yeah.
That's a good point. You know, they have all these awards for like radio shows, internet shows, TV shows, but there's not any for commercials.
They're just not on TV because nobody would watch them.
Because they're commercials.
I know that because I was nominated for one when I did radio in high school.
Everyone's trying to skip it. Like,
Yeah.
Like,
Why can't I skip that?
It's the guy from the commercial. What? Oh, this is what we're watching.
Yeah, one of the ads I made in radio in high school was like second for some radio award thing. But I didn't know about it until like several years after I graduated. I ran into somebody who's like, hey, you know you can Google you? And I was like, no. Well, why were you Googling me? I was just Googling people I knew. And if you used to be able to Google me, and the first thing that come up was second place for some.
Hold on a second.
It's for me. I'm in the shower.
It's the train yard. I got to go to Corbin. So we got to wrap this up.
All roads to Corbin are currently closed.
That's not what you said earlier.
Yeah, I sent mixed signals. That's on me.
All right. So anybody else got any more to add to their backstories before we move on?
I'm good.
I mean, I always do. But
Okay, so let's move on. All right, so a topic I watched a video on today that I kind of wanted to elaborate on more is how much should the average person, they said bench press, but I'm curious, what do y'all think the average person should squat, bench, or deadlift? Well, I'm not talking like people that lift every day. It's just average person. What do you think they should be able to lift?
Average man or average?
We can do both.
Female? Okay, yeah. Because, I mean,
I think
I don't want to get canceled.
male or female, both should be able to bench press 300.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to get canceled, but I think the numbers are different.
We do male and female, but both in transition.
This is not
Kind of level the playing field.
This is not what if, okay?
It's easier to do the numbers that way. You know what I mean? They'll meet in the middle.
That's like, did you see Croc? You know who Croc, the power lifter that transitioned? And was still jacked as all get out.
Yeah.
And was competing in powerlifting meets, not as a female, but still setting records. Anywho's, what's her? Let's do squat first. What do you think the average person should squat?
I think the average person should be able to squat. The average man should be able to squat 180 pounds.
Really? That's it?
Yeah. I mean, when you think about the gamut of people, though.
It's true.
And the average person, the average person that works a 9-to-5 office job, doesn't, isn't super active or whatever. I think 180 pounds should be.
Let's see.
180, 185. And it's easy to say like bench. They should bench their body weight, but
yeah, I'd like to like a specific number. I think would be a little bit easier to rather than just saying your body weight.
Yeah.
Well, let's see. So the average male is, that seems weird. The average weight for males in the United States ages 20 years and older is 199.8 pounds. And the average height is 5 foot 7.5 inches. So let's go. If that's your average male,
they're 5'7", 200.
5'7", 200.
And they're thick.
I mean, if there's anything we breed in America, it's
it's
obesity.
Let's check that average again in a couple years after RFK gets done with them, boys.
right.
I was making an adjustment, dude. Calm down.
God bottom. If you break it, I'm not replacing that one.
I'm not sure what made that noise.
After RFK, it'll be 5'7". It'll be 200, but it'll be
6'4".
It'll be 11% body fat.
You made them all grow taller, not smaller, just taller.
Now the average is 6'4", 220.
All right, so anyway, so the average 5'7", 200-pound male, what do you think they should squat? You sticking with your 180 or?
Well,
Because I wasn't far off. I was going to say 200.
yeah, well, if the average body weight's 200, I would say 200 would be good. Yeah, because I mean, you should be able to squat your body weight.
I would agree.
Without being in the gym,
Yep.
I mean, I think an averagely in shape, physical, whatever, should be able to do that.
I agree.
I have no idea.
True.
I always assume that I'm at the bottom end. And I learn the more I go to the gym, the more I'm not. So I have no reference. Because I get mad at people. I was like, why can you not do this, dude? Like, if I can do it, you can freaking do it. It's like, I have no reference of what somebody should do. Like a couch. You'd be able to pick up a couch without whining about it.
That's
for real.
Move a washing machine, like stuff like that. Like,
hold on, what type of couch? Because as me and Holland just learned recently, that matters.
If it has recliners on both ends,
It is heavy.
hey, sleeper sofas ain't no slouch.
yeah, that's true.
That's
Man.
when you
Well,
take
put
the
it this
saws off and cut it apart first.
Oh, believe me, it was thought of.
My threshold is, and I've experienced this, if you call me to help you move, you should be able to pick up the other end of your couch.
100%. 100%.
That's my baseline.
All right.
Yeah.
See, I think that's an interesting take.
And what would that translate to in a deadlift?
Not that
In a
much.
deadlift?
I mean, really, yeah.
I mean, yeah, it is technically.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be 100 pounds or less.
Yeah. Again,
And-
depending on the couch.
Yeah, well, right. And,
It's
but
those
then,
situations that I'm like, what the? Why
but then you
not?
run into grown men that can't pick up
Yeah.
their end of the couch.
I have had that. I know you said you've had it too, but I have had it before. Where I mean, it was even a big old boy. I had been moving all day. Went to go move my stuff onto a U-Haul, and there's only one other guy there to help me, and he had to sit down on the bumper and said, "I can't." And I had to move couches and everything. Granted, they weren't reclining couches.
Yeah.
That's important. I'm not a monster. But still, I wound up doing it by myself because, like you said, they couldn't help me.
Yeah.
And I'm not very good in situations like that because I have imposter syndrome and everything. So I'm never like, I'm just stronger than he is. I'm always like, this little freaking puss. Why can you not pick this up? What did you do? Why are you so weak?
Yeah. Well, so I was a Boy Scout leader for a while, and we would do the physical fitness stuff. And every year that we did it, they got worse. I mean, it'd be a new batch, but every year, like I ended up the last year that we did it, they were supposed to, like the way it went, you were supposed to do as many push-ups as you could do in a minute. And then in a month, you were supposed to show some progress. And, if you showed any progress in the push-ups, it was push-ups, pull-ups, and I can't remember it was a run, a certain distance. I can't remember. Whatever. All you had to do was show some sort of improvement over that month. I had a group, the last group that I did, there were like 8 of them. 4 of them could not do a single regular push-up.
That surprised me.
I was like, if you guys are at school and you fall, how do you get back up? You can't push yourself off of the ground. I mean, like how?
The armed forces are having a hard time recruiting people right now, not because they're having a hard time getting them to come in, but because they're having a hard time they can get them to pass the physical.
It's crazy.
Yep. Well, that's like whenever I still worked at Smoky Mountain Athletic, they ran a kids. I forget what kind of clinic it was, but it was like an agility. It was an agility clinic. That's what it was. Yeah. I was talking to the people that ran it after, and they said you would be amazed at how many kids cannot skip.
Yeah.
Like just even like have never skipped, and then when you try to explain it to them to teach them, they can't do it.
He's trying to make himself feel straight. Skipping's cool. Like
I'm not saying skipping's cool. I'm not saying I like to skip. I'm just saying can you skip?
Never tried.
Okay, that for one is a lie.
couldn't look my dad in the eye if I tried to skip.
It's like, what would my dad think?
I like that. That's where you draw the
He
line.
saw me,
Like I thought about it once, and I just turned it into like a dunk off of one foot. I was like,
saw
I
me
ain't-
skipping through the tulips.
yeah.
What's really funny is like skipping is where you draw the line. All the jokes about you and Holland being like sitting on each other's laps or touching.
Nobody's resisting that though. That's understandable. But skipping shows some self
And
control.
let's also be honest. The comments that are made off podcast, especially to people at work.
What are you talking about? I'm a saint at work.
Hey, we can't pull work stuff into the podcast. Come on now.
No shit where you eat, dog.
But really, it is funny. Used to in kindergarten, that was one of the things you had to do. You had to jump off. You had to jump off of both feet. You had to jump off of each foot, and you had to skip.
Yep.
And then you had to make a lady pregnant. Those are the 3 kindergarten
I
tests
forgot
of
you.
manhood.
I forgot you went to Fulton. Ignore his input here. It's a way different world out there.
But yeah, but I don't think they require anything. I don't think they do anything like that now. And motor skills are lacking.
I would be interested to see what actually happens in the average gym class nowadays.
Which is funny too, because professional athletes keep getting bigger, faster, and stronger
True.
as the population as a whole gets fatter, slower, and weaker. It's weird how it's becoming. There's no like averagely fit people anymore. Hardly. There's like pro athletes that are superhuman, and then there's slobs that can't do anything hardly.
I agree.
I would have called myself averagely fit, and then you split it that way. I guess I'm a fucking slob. Thanks, Holland.
But it's getting that way is what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's completely that way.
Whatever,
now.
dog.
That's a good point. Like college football, for example. Like, look at Nico. Would you believe that dude just graduated high school?
Yeah,
Like I know I forget that even now, especially growing up. I forgot it all the time. But they are 19, 20.
Yeah, you're watching them playing like that's a kid playing.
Yeah. Like they just
David from Alabama, 17.
Yeah.
Yeah, wait a while, and ESPN will tell you about it again.
Oh my Lord.
If they don't say anything, it's up on the screen.
Yeah.
He is
Yeah.
17.
Yeah, we
Look, he
get
colored
it.
this yesterday. Jesus, well, changed the record.
We get it. He's going to get CTE well before everybody else.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you said, professional athletes are getting bigger. You got the people playing high school football and then going into college football who are just huge adult children.
Yeah.
And then everybody else.
Yeah, it's weird how
It's a pretty big curve.
Yeah.
Did we ever find out what the average squat was?
I didn't look at that's just
I thought you were
conversation.
looking it up.
No.
Thought you were going to tell us.
So what about bench press? What do you think?
See, this is the one that I've seen a lot of mixed numbers on. Is I've seen a lot of people that it's like ego lifting, but it's ego opinion. It's like they're afraid to tell you anything under 225.
Right. Yeah.
Even though they don't bench 225.
Yeah.
Like I even seen a woman say, well, my kids always say 225. And then the guy said, well, how much do they bench press? Well, they're 16 and 17, so not 225. I was like, then why do they think?
Yeah.
Either way.
Even though I benched 225 when I was 16.
Well, let's see, 5'7", 200 pounds.
I'd say you should be able to do 165 pounds.
I was going to say at least 135 just because I feel like adding the one
You
plate.
ought to be, every grown man should be able to bench
At least
bar and a plate.
At least the one plate on each side.
Yeah.
I think that's got to be bare minimum.
Yeah.
A particular study shows that the average man can squat 225. Apparently, that's the.
Is that the average gym goer?
It just says
Yeah, I think that's where it gets skewed. Is
the average man can squat 225 for a single repetition after a few months of strength training.
than that. Yeah, I'm talking about like hasn't strength trained, walks into the gym. What do we hit?
I would assume less than 225. So probably it's about 200. Probably right.
Which I also think
200. I mean, 25 is not a huge jump if you're not like really struggling. So maybe even further south than 200 than we think.
Because I mean, my guess was 200. I thought, especially at 5'7", 200 pounds, I'm saying 200 pounds should be your squat.
Yeah, because I mean, when you're going upstairs, you're lifting. You're kind of doing that.
That's why I think squat has to be
handrail too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
And how many people take stairs nowadays?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But that's why I think at least with squat especially, like squat and deadlift, I feel like have to be at least body weight or more
Yeah.
because you do those movements every single day.
Yeah.
One way or another. You're exercising your legs no matter what. When you're walking, you're picking something up, anything of that. You get out of bed in the morning, you're doing some kind of squat. So to some degree, I feel like you should be able to squat your body weight. I think I personally think you should be able to deadlift more, at least 1.5 times your body weight minimum. But also, we don't like body weight numbers, so I'm going to say 200 for the squat. I think 135 for bench.
I was going to the average bench press for an untrained individual based on this one study. Untrained individuals 135. Novice it says 175, but untrained 135 is the average they found
I agree with that.
for a singular rep.
And what do you think deadlift? I have to say at least 250. I'm going to set the bar.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what?
But then-
I'm gonna bring it back. I'm gonna say 225.
Yeah. But then I think of people that I've seen try to deadlift for the very first time, and I've got 225 on the bar and it's not budging. You know,
I'm gonna say,
bless you.
I'm gonna say for the deadlift that you've at least got some bit of coaching to know how to deadlift. Because I'm not going to tell anybody that's never done it in their life to go try it and then expect them to hit 225.
Yeah. And especially if it's a straight bar instead of a trap.
Right.
Like trap bar.
Now, trap bar, 225 all day. There's no coaching that is required for trap bar deadlift. I don't know that you can do that wrong.
Just grab the bar and stand up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A typical male beginner deadlifter can be expected to deadlift around 173.
Huh.
Wow.
But
But intermediate, that's most of them, like the intermediate to professional doesn't jump that much. This one, beginner 173, intermediate 336.
I would agree with that because deadlift is, once you learn how to deadlift, your numbers automatically go up.
Yeah.
If they could just shape that bar like a couch or something, then I'd slam that thing. I compete every weekend.
That's what you should do.
Refrigerator.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. You should start building your own manufactured weights that just look like furniture.
I'll just take the cushions off a couch and mount a pin to it to put plates on one side.
It'd be like how they
That would make for a good strongman competition.
actually, yeah.
Yeah.
Next time one of us needs to move the stuff in this house to that house.
Whoever does it faster, go.
We'll just stand around with clipboards walking by people.
And we're gonna coincidentally plan it on the same weekend that we're all moving.
Yeah, we'll call it a competition.
Yeah.
But really, we're
Just
moving.
moving.
Yeah, we're playing hangman on my clipboard. We're not really taking any scores.
That's what we're gonna do if Power Partners ever moves.
Yeah.
That's how we're gonna get our equipment moved.
Yeah.
Who can move all this stuff over there?
Yeah.
Wow, you carried that really good. Can you do another one?
We'll split the room in quadrants. We're like, you've got this.
We draw
If
for
you
the
can move
quadrant.
it, yeah.
We'll put in an age factor. God, I can hear them now. Golly, all right.
All right. So moving on to women. If we say the average female over 20 years of age weighs 170 pounds and is 5'4". Careful.
Did my facial expression give that away?
The average woman should be able to hold me and make me feel safe.
5'4", 170 pounds.
Bench press.
Well, if the average man's bench
With or
pressing,
without farting.
if the average man's bench pressing 135, I'm saying 85 pounds.
I was about there. I was going to say 95.
Wow.
Around there.
Sexists. I was going to say 200 pounds.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of strong female leadership.
Squat.
He was a white dude for Kamala.
100%.
I will say female starting squat is usually,
I'll say it's close. I'll say it's closer to the men's
Yeah.
than their bench press.
it's actually not far off usually.
Yeah.
Especially, again, kind of like deadlift. Once they learn how to do it, it usually increases quickly.
Yeah, if we're going to say that, well, I don't know, because I'm just thinking about in the gym, what if,
Pervert.
no, I'm just thinking about numbers
Oh.
that I've seen, 150-pound squat, 160-pound squats are getting You know,
Pretty
I
regular.
was thinking like Nelly numbers. Imagine this was 36, 25, 34.
no, I don't. Yeah, because I want to say I wanted to say like 170, but I'm probably leaning more towards like 150.
I was going to go to the 135.
Yeah,
Again, I tend to round to the easiest plate combinations.
because you remember that video I did where the girl was squatting and you know she got stuck at the bottom, and I just picked her and the bar up and racked it.
Yeah.
That was the axle bar, so it was lighter.
35, I think.
Yeah, with 2 10s. You know, so it's 55 pounds, and I mean she could squat that, but she struggled with it.
But let's be honest. That girl was about as thin as
was
that
not
bar
170
was.
though, either.
Of course, she's like 90 pounds,
Yeah.
but you know, that's well under 100 pounds though.
I think I'm going to stick to the 135 for the average person.
I'll go with that. Yeah.
What furniture do you think the average woman can move?
A skillet.
All right, deadlift.
That's what they ought to be. That's what they ought to be moving.
I think
They
deadlift.
know what's good for them.
I think deadlift might be lower. I'm going to say the average woman probably 80-pound deadlift, 75-pound deadlift-ish.
Yeah. But you know what's crazy though, because like you see, like mothers carrying around kids that weigh like 80 pounds all day long. You know.
It's something between that correlation between bar lifting and child lifting.
I can't relate because if it's furniture, I don't even think about how heavy it is. It's just like, no, I'll carry it.
Yeah.
And I think it also comes out of necessity. I think the woman has no choice. If no one else is around or we don't have a stroller, you're stuck. Or if the baby won't let go of you, you're stuck.
Yeah.
But you don't have to pick up that 80-pound bar.
Because you know you're holding that kid. After a few minutes, you're like, man, my arm's getting a little tired here.
I needed a lot of head
Like-
support. I got a big one.
Yeah, like she carried this thing around for like 2 hours. I've got it for like 10 minutes, and I'm ready to set this thing down. You know.
You hold it for 10 minutes, and all of a sudden, doesn't quite look like me, does it?
You know.
Longer you hold it, less it looks like you.
On
You know
second
what?
thought,
See you on draft day, little fella.
yes, I don't know. It's weird. It's like you know how you talk about like guys getting old men strength. I think women get mother strength.
I agree. Yeah.
So I would say the average mom
I think women are always strong.
deadlifts more than the average non-mother.
I actually agree with that. I think it's also an interesting way to look at it.
And I wonder if that's due to like a hormone change when like all the pregnancy hormones and stuff happen.
Only way to find out, I can probably get you some.
Actually, speaking of hormones, the funny thing today is I was walking by, this random guy looks at me and he shows me this video. He goes, "This is steroids, right?" And it was a guy, it's like a montage. This dude working out, and he's got like the droppers of Sarms, and he's like,
Oh yeah,
and I was like, I mean, yeah, it is, but it's not.
yeah. They're PEDs, you know.
Which actually, Dr. Mike Israetel just did a video. I don't remember when it came out, but talking about the like pros and cons of SARMs versus actual steroids.
Yeah.
And he said that studies have shown that use a SARM. The theory is that the SARM is going to be less of the gain, but also less of the risk.
Right.
But by the time that you would use enough of the SARM to get results you're looking for, your risk to reward is worse than if you just did
Steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like even like HGH comparison is you're better off just doing.
Yeah. Well, so SARM stands for what? Selective androgen receptor modulator, right? Yeah. And they're supposed to just latch on to. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
That's the thing I always remember, but I never try to say it because I know I'll mess it up.
But so they attach to those androgen receptors, and what would swallow up free testosterone can't now because of the SARM. So the maximum amount of testosterone that you can have, you've already produced anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you're still not getting extra testosterone.
Yep.
So yeah, Yeah, I could see that.
It's like, in theory, I see the idea.
Yeah.
That, okay, if we can just target muscle gain without increasing blood pressure.
Yeah.
Perfect. However, you're having to neglect how much you are targeting the muscle gain so that you don't you get the negative effect. So by the time you're there, it's like you've diluted it enough. It don't really matter.
Yeah.
I mean, it does. There's still results have came from using SARMs.
Oh, yeah.
Just there's also still side effects that people try to avoid by doing SARMs. They're still there.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying you should do either.
I'm saying
But try both and see what happens.
jump on steroids, kids. You heard it. You heard it here from the Iron Palace.
All right. Future Caleb, this is an edit point.
Yeah, no, we're not actually suggesting that you do steroids.
We're not suggesting it.
I would like to point out, especially kids.
Unless you want to be really strong and jacked.
I will say that's one of my big.
Are you tired of carrying around those big old nuts?
Okay, go ahead.
Boys.
I'll say it's one of my biggest pet peeves is whenever you get the kids like 21 and under
Yeah.
jumping on PEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah, get them young. Start them early. Probably
see-
works better if you get a
Yeah,
head start.
die young. Start early, die young.
But
Like,
then
Need a
they
giant casket.
but they screw up their endocrine system like irredeemably.
Yeah.
Then, you know.
That's in fashion now.
yeah, I mean,
well, yeah.
for one, you've not even had time to learn how your body trains.
Yeah.
You've not reached anywhere near your genetic potential. So therefore, you're really just speeding up. Well, and it's also proven that if once you hit a muscle gain, your muscle will increase faster and your strength will increase faster. However, your tendons and everything else does not.
Yeah. Well, you know, you see so many busted tendons.
Yep.
It's probably due to steroid use because your muscles got way strong, way fast, and your tendons didn't have time because your tendon strength is a real slow go.
That's like Kevin Mayer from Pure Bullfit.
Yeah.
Going to be on soon.
Oh, that's exciting.
If you're watching this, hey, Kevin, talk to you soon. Anywho's or what's there. He actually just put out a short. Again, I don't remember when this was, but I seen his short where he's talking about there was a guy showing off his physique for bodybuilding. And Kevin said, this is a perfectly attainable physique without being on PEDs. And he said he was going to, put his money where his mouth was and he was going to attempt it. And then in comments, people were saying, yeah, it's only attainable for this and this, whatever. Or like if you're this young and everything. He said, actually, I would argue that it's like if you're young, it takes longer to get to that physique. But if you're older, your body's already matured. So now you're just, because like you said, your tendons have already came along with your strength training. So now it's just training.
Yeah.
But that guy's testosterone level was 5 times what his was, and he was going to try to obtain the same.
Yeah, exactly.
And he was shooting for 20 times what his testosterone level was.
Which is insane. Which is, like you said, how they screw.
His testosterone level was like 5,000.
But why do you need it to be that high? Like,
Yeah.
you can only use so much of it.
Yeah. And I mean,
With that attitude.
without taking other stuff. Yeah.
Also true. But and I mean, it's we talked about it whenever Jason was on, and like you just said, you're going to screw up your endocrine system because you're just blasting God knows what,
Yeah.
and for no reason, because you're not actually getting what your body requires to grow. You're just throwing everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
Yeah. And and like I don't understand, and like you said, if you're in your 20s or younger, there is no reason to try any of that stuff yet anyways, because like unless you have some sort of pituitary disease or some sort of, like there's no reason that you shouldn't get crazy. I mean, you just got to eat right and work out.
Wish I knew you guys were squares a year ago.
I had a coach one time, and I had people were trying to sell me Sarms.
Yeah.
And I was like, this sounds like a great idea.
Yeah.
I mean, like all my lifts were good. Everything felt great. I mean, I was nowhere near what I should be, but still. So I text my coach. I was like, hey, say I know people that have SARMs that I could buy for not that expensive. Do you think it'd be worth it? And his immediate answer was, how's your sleep? How's your food? How's your training?
Yeah. Get all that right first.
Yep. And I said, I sleep 4 to 6 hours a night. I train. I think at the time it was like 5 to 7 days a week, but not super structured. And then food was just whatever I could get my hands on. Yeah. So 2 of the 3 of those, not good.
Yeah.
So therefore I didn't do them because he made a pretty solid point.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you know, like Jason was talking about, you know, one of the things that makes him mad is people were like, well, if I took steroids, I could do that too. No, you couldn't. Mm-mm. If you took steroids, you'd also have to do all the other training and dieting and all that other stuff has to be there. And
even more so, I would say, with steroids, just because now you've got to feed and recover all this extra strength and muscle mass you're gaining.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's not, you know, they're not a quick way to the top.
No, it's a way to the top.
Yeah.
And if you're going to be a professional bodybuilder, you better be getting ready for them.
Yeah.
Order anchor arms.
Anchor arms. Yeah.
I've got them for the ladies. Harry.
Oh, that made me think of that SpongeBob when he was trying to get into what was the name of the rest?
Salty Spittoon.
The Salty Spittoon, yeah.
How tough are you?
He was tired of eating at Weenie Hut Jr.
Yeah. I can look at this tattooed dance. What about that one? Ha-cha-cha. Ha-cha-cha. I think my favorite part was when the sponge comes up with like the pompadour. He's like, hey, don't I know you? He's like, maybe I just blew it to town. He's like, that's a wig. No, it's not. He lets him in and SpongeBob comes behind him with a clown wig on. I lose it every time, dude. Every time. In the floor, wheezing, son.
My favorite is when Sandy Squirrel rips dude's tattoo off, turns it upside down, and sits it back on.
Did I get in? Yeah, you stepped in the door and slipped on an ice cube and hit your head.
I liked whenever he said, how tough are you? And he said, one time I tried to open the ketchup bottle and I only cried for 5 minutes. Yeah.
Now give it to him. You can have it. Dude, old SpongeBob was the shit.
Yeah. My father-in-law loves SpongeBob. And the other day we said something about watching SpongeBob. And he said, he looked at us, he goes, did you know there's a channel that plays SpongeBob 24/7? And the excitement on his face about that. Like last year when we were doing taxes, we went up to their office because he had everything to do it. Sits down, he's got 3 32-inch monitors in front of him. And he goes, all right. And then he starts pulling up the tax stuff, looks over here, pulls up SpongeBob on one screen, pulls up something, goes, all right, you guys ready? I was like, I think so.
Tom Kenny, the guy that voiced SpongeBob, was also the narrator for Powerpuff Girls. The city of Townsville. Same
that
thing.
Makes sense now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was also a heifer on Rocco's Modern Life. The yellow cow.
Did I show you the TikTok video of the guy that voiced all the voices for cow and chicken in the gym? Like while he's working out, he's like, and a one.
I've seen that guy, but I've not seen that video.
I have to show you after this is over because it was awesome. Especially because I forgot how much I loved cow and chicken. Yeah, I'll have to show. Don't let me forget that.
Did you ever watch Cow and Chicken? No. I don't.
Mama had a chicken.
It's not.
Mama had a cow. Dad was proud. He didn't care how. That was a great show.
That was awesome.
Remember when they had the yard sale and the like for sale sign with the prize fell off the table in the yard and the Red Devil guy bought their entire yard?
We're too old.
It was just the house. That was a good one.
That was something I didn't notice till I got older. Was how weird was that devil guy?
Oh yeah, really.
And also,
weird.
where does he come into the show? Like you've got a
you
cow
can always see his butt cheeks.
Yeah, you've got a cow and a chicken, and then something for whatever reason there's this red devil thing with a dump truck walking around.
Or the arcade. Kick the can. Kick the can.
The one joke that I took from that I still make, and I don't know why, is whenever they're sitting in class and the red devil guy looks over and goes, hey, I got to go to the bathroom. Go for me. The guy walks in and comes back with toilet paper on their shoe. I don't know why I thought that was funny.
Go for me.
I can't. That made me think of Billy and Mandy.
Yeah,
Fred Burger.
The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy. Yeah.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
It's new one on me too.
That's Prime Time Cartoon Network.
So Billy and Mandy. Mandy was like the girl. She was smart, but like kind of an evil genius. Billy was just a dumb boy, and their babysitter was the Grim Reaper. He got stuck having to babysit him because I think Mandy had tricked him into he was trying to take one of them, and Mandy tricked him into signing the deal where he had to babysit him for eternity.
Again, the premise on this is wild.
Yeah.
Because the Grim Reaper came there to
And he
Killed
talked
one.
in a Jamaican accent. The Grim Reaper did.
Oh, actually, I forgot all about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That show was pretty wild. It was good, though.
it was good. You know what one I didn't like was Chowder.
Yeah, I never cared for that. That was kind of later, though.
For whatever reason, Chowder, like
That was when Cartoon Network switched to like
Yeah.
regular show and all like that. The whole vibe changed.
and it was none of them had texture or like patterns on their clothes. It was like a moving
It was a
pattern
cool
thing.
animation style. You'd like it. So like the characters were outlined, drawn, but it's almost like they were moving in front of like construction paper. They had
I
like
did not
different
like
designs
it.
and stuff on it. So like the design would stay still and they would move. So like it looked like the design was moving. It was
My
pretty
ADD hated every bit of it.
cool. But the show sucked.
It was pretty bad.
What was it? Cat Dog. That was a banger.
We've
That was
talked
on
about Cat
Nickelodeon.
Dog before.
Angry Beavers. That was another banger.
That was a great one.
You watch Angry Beavers? Daggett Norbert. Yee! That's the reason I yell like that to this day. Daggett.
Thundercats.
You just
G.I.
did
Joe,
earlier.
He-Man.
Looney Tunes. That was what
I watched that too.
Animaniacs, dog.
Animaniacs was good.
The Warner Brothers and the Warner Sister Dot. That one was wild.
The Adventures of Jackie Chan.
Yeah. I didn't really like the serious ones. I didn't watch a lot of those, but I remember that one being
Dude,
around.
that's one I still quote is whenever he would Jackie Chan's grandfather would find one of the little talismans and try to make them work. He'd go, Umagwegwe Fidisao. No idea what he's saying, but it's dope.
I watched a whole lot of the Science Channel.
Yeah, we know.
We had Direct TV, and I got really excited when we had the Science Channel and Nicktoons because I was either watching Rocko's Modern Life and Angry Beavers or some documentary.
I only had satellite or dish, whatever, part time. If I was at mom's, I had good cartoons. If I was at dad's, I had local cable, and I had to move the antennas.
Humble brag, 2 Christmases over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, not wrong. All right, you guys want to hear the story for today before we trail too far off?
Yeah,
Do we
dude.
have a choice? Can we vote?
No.
Was this a rhetorical question?
Yes, it was 100%. But I wanted you to feel like you had an answer.
Oh, okay.
So if it's yes, then you can answer. If it's no, I'm going to tell you anyways.
Yeah.
I plead the fifth.
So anyways, do you guys want to hear it?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's two,
Alan sounded so unenthused.
it's 2 out
Hold
of
on.
3.
My heart was just broke.
He's like, heck yeah.
I don't know if I'm ready for anything. My wife just texted me and she said she saw a TikTok. They test a lot of stuff on beagles, like a lot of shampoos and stuff. This guy rescued a beagle and it can't bark. So it just tries to howl and nothing comes out. Like, that's the saddest thing I've ever imagined in my life.
Why would your wife text you and tell you that?
I don't know. I guess because she didn't want to go through it alone.
That's a terrible thing to tell
Hey,
somebody.
I had a cousin that rescued a Jack Russell Terrier, and it had some kind of throat cancer or something or another, and its voice box it couldn't bark either, and it kind of it would try though because they're yappy dogs anyways, and it would like. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It was hilarious.
Like, one of my favorite things in the world is my beagle yelling at me when I get home. I can't imagine if he couldn't make a sound. That'd be devastating. I think he does it to bug my wife, too, because, like, if I just come home, nothing. If she just goes home, nothing. But if one of us is already home and the other one gets home, the dog goes ballistic, howling and shit. Like, he's excited when anybody gets home. He'll run around. He wants to get petted and stuff. But if we come home separate, he will howl and bark and carry on for like 5-10 minutes.
Well, he's letting the other one know.
Yeah, he's like, hey, we're all here now. Hey, we're all here.
We're all together.
Did you hear me? Did you hear me?
And my wife will be going, for the love of God, please shut up. I was like, oh, him's just talking to him, Dad.
Yeah,
About that story.
Yeah, I'm ready for a
Sound
story.
like my wife. Whenever the dogs start barking, I yell, shut up. And she says, here's a bone for him. No.
My dog eats up pity. That's how I pet him. Like, oh, she's so tough. I'd be Jack Daniels. It's so hard on him. He just rolls over and just eats it up, son. I do the same thing to Holland.
Yep.
All right. So anyways,
Once upon a time.
for your hint, I'm going to read the first part of the story. And we'll see if you can guess. And then I'll give you some more hints if you can't. But I got a pretty good feeling you got this one.
By you, he means you.
Nope. No, I mean Dave. I think Dave's got this one first. In the golden haze of the 1980s, when mullets were majestic, spandex was sacred, and biceps reigned supreme, emerged a man who was larger than life, and his shirts were never safe from his raw power.
Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan. Told you Dave would get this one first. Hulk Hogan wasn't just a wrestler. He was a titan of testosterone, a flexing phenomenon who turned a wrestling ring into his personal coliseum. Born Terry Bollea in Augusta, Georgia, Hogan discovered early on that he wasn't like other kids. While most children were building sandcastles, young Terry was perfecting his bicep curl with gallons of milk in each hand.
And he learned he was really good at doing exactly what Vince McMahon said.
True. By the time he hit high school, his arms were rumored to have their own gravitational pull, and his hairline was already retreating in fear of the greatness it couldn't match. After dabbling in music and slamming some bass guitar in his youth, Hogan eventually found his true calling, body slamming other humans for a living. Under the bright lights of the wrestling world, Terry became Hulk Hogan, a red and yellow clad demigod with a handlebar mustache so iconic it deserved its own Hall of Fame induction. It's a true story, actually. I think it does deserve it.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't just about the look.
Hogan was in there for a minute. They can put Hulk Hogan's mustache in.
Yeah.
But it wasn't just about the look. Hogan had feats of strength that seemed plucked from mythology. There was the time he hoisted the mighty Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3, a moment that's still replayed in slow motion, often with epic orchestral music added for dramatic effect. Hulk claimed Andre weighed 700 pounds that night, even though Andre didn't. But hey, when you're the Hulkster, reality bends to your biceps.
Andre was only 625.
Hulk Hogan, also known liar.
That's every wrestler.
Nah, he's real bad about it.
Of course, Hulk's strength wasn't limited to the ring. He was known for feats like tearing phone books in half, bending frying pans, and breaking barriers in pop culture, all of which we do.
You've been frying pans.
I've bent at a frying pan for sure.
I have a video of you bending a frying pan.
Pervert.
It's only pervert if you didn't know I videoed. And you didn't.
If you did.
So,
It was in secret, like.
there's a reason he doesn't. There's a reason.
Coming out of his nose real heavy.
Hey, it's in the winter. All the windows are already fogged. You'll never see me.
Yeah.
Unknown Henson has a song called Foggy Windows Have Come Between Us Again. It's a low song from the perspective of Peepin' Tom.
His charisma was so anabolic it spilled into Hollywood, where he starred in cinematic masterpieces like No Holds Barred and Suburban Commando.
Mr. Nanny.
Is that the one where the dog gets thrown in the water?
I don't know.
You seen that?
I think so.
One of his movies, like it's not supposed to be in the movie. He's riding a motorcycle down the road, and you just see some random guy take a small dog and just throw it in the ocean. He just chucks it. It's the wildest shit, dude. Not fun. Go ahead, continue.
Sure, the critics hated them, but the Hulkamaniacs, they ate it up like protein powder. And who would forget the wisdom Hogan dispensed? Train, say your prayers, and eat your vitamins. Wasn't just a catchphrase, it was a way of life. Though considering the size of Hogan's traps, one could argue his vitamins were a bit more scientifically advanced.
You got taking them Mexican vitamins.
But Hogan's legacy wasn't without its twists. After decades of running wild, tearing shirts, and turning the wrestling world on its head, the Hulkster endured scandals, lawsuits, and injuries that would have crushed lesser mortals. Yet like a phoenix rising from the ashes, or a wrestler kicking out at two, good Lord, Hogan always found a way to flex back into the limelight. Today, Hulk Hogan stands as a living legend, a towering reminder of an era when wrestling was larger than life and everything was cranked up to 11. He's a man whose feats of strength weren't just about lifting weights or slamming giants. They were about lifting spirits and slamming doubt into the mat. So the question we have for you is, so what you gonna do, brother, when the story of Hulk Hogan runs wild on you?
I will say wrestling was very fun back then. I mean,
Oh, absolutely.
and I mean, I was a Hulkamaniac, hardcore. I had the workout set.
Yep. I remember you and Travis Law
Me and
talking
T-Law
about
both
that.
had
Yep.
it, yeah. I mean, he was,
I mean, despite everything else that went on, like outside of wrestling,
yeah.
you can't deny he is an icon.
Did you hear the Undertaker's story about wrestling Hulk Hogan?
No.
Yeah, he was like, so it was Undertaker. They were going to put him over, and he's wrestling Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan was like known to not want to put anybody else over. So the finishing move, Tombstone, for his pile driver, finishes it. he goes back to the office. He's thinking, all right, cool. You know, I finally made it. I'm champ. It's gonna be great. Blah blah. He said, and Hulk Hogan's laying in the floor of Vince's office, going, "Oh, brother, my neck. I'll never wrestle again. You've ruined my career. Yada yada yada." He said, and I was terrified because I was like, this guy's a legend. Like my career is over.
Yeah.
He said, but then other wrestlers coming to me going, he's like that. His head was a foot from the mat. You're fine. He's not hurt. And he was like, from that moment forward, I was like, screw that guy.
Well, I mean, yeah, a lot of the guys that rise to the top,
Oh, yeah,
they know they're there for a reason.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, he's totally different. But the stories are funny. You know about him busting the union? WWE was about, or WWF was about to get a union, or was trying to unionize. Jesse Ventura was trying to unionize him. It was right before he got the Screen Actors Guild. That's when he goes like, "I got one, I'm good." But he was going to unionize him. Vince found out, and like really brought the hammer down. And they found out because Vince just didn't keep it a secret that Hulk Hogan. Ventura gave a speech in the locker room. Hulk Hogan went straight to Vince McMahon. It was like, "Hey, he's trying to unionize these guys."
Yeah.
So like it wasn't even a secret. Vince, they had Jesse said, he's like, "How'd you find out?" He's like, "Oh, Terry come in here and told me." Yeah. Like, what? Oh yeah, here, Caleb. You want to see a guy throw a dog in the wall?
But back then, you had like your good guys they were obviously the good guy. You know, the Hulk Hogan's, the Hacksaw Jim Duggins. Those guys, and then you had your bad guys, the Rowdy Roddy Pipers, the British Bulldogs. Or like Sergeant Slaughter and the Iron Sheik. Those were
The Iron Sheik tweeted at Hulk Hogan once a day until he died, and he just said, "F Hulk Hogan." Really? Yeah. He said, "F that jabroni Hulk Hogan" every day until he died. Rip Iron Sheik. Yeah. The jabroni. Fuck out of Hulk Hogan.
But there was it didn't last very long, but at one time there was a Saturday morning cartoon that was the WWE was in it. And I remember that. I remember that was so awesome. There was a Bigfoot cartoon too, not the animal, but the truck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like
Ford Tough, baby.
Now you don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
to be fair, I never know what y'all are talking about.
I'm familiar with Bigfoot's work.
But yeah, it was like Bigfoot and Gravedigger. They were the good guys were in the Bigfoot truck.
I can't believe you said that with a hard R.
We're in Gravedigger. Yeah.
Digga.
Yeah.
That sounded worse.
Did it?
Yeah. Maybe to you racist bastard.
I don't know. My God.
Yeah. Sheesh.
I thought Linda raised you better than that.
She tried. Mama tried.
My God. I got a sticker on my guitar case says that.
I think now's a great time for everybody's favorite part of today, which is
Bofa.
no.
No.
And there it is. Just a tip of Dick's Lemons.
Don't wear a Batman costume for Halloween unless you're ready for everybody to see your little penis. This has been Get Down On It with Dick Lemons.
Yeah, that's.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
Have you seen like some of the Spider-Man people that like they come to these kids' birthday parties and I'm like
morph suits? Yeah.
They are inappropriate.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
They should not be dressed like that in front of kids.
Yeah. Oh, I learned what long hog is in American Sign Language today because I thought my deaf buddy, he said long haul. He said he was at Denzo for the long haul. I said, "You're at Denzo for the long hogs?" He's like, "No." I said, "Long haul." I said, "Please show me long hog in American Sign Language." So it's either that or he's got me calling myself something really dumb. I told him, I said, that kind of feels like I'm gay.
hold on.
Yeah.
Move your mic. Make the camera's on him. All right, do it again. Comment what that means.
Yeah, anybody that knows ASL, let us know.
Yep. Don't tell me what that one means.
But
Fact checking. If that ain't it,
Bacon. I know the important ones.
but hey, the long hog. That made me think. Sailors. Sailors used to stop at these islands, and they would resupply, and they would get pick up meat, and it was called the natives there called it long pork.
Why? Because they were afraid to say long sausage?
No, long
They're
pork.
afraid to say schlong.
The meat, the long pork is people. They were cannibals, and that's what they called. That's what they called the meat, long pork.
The other white meat.
Yeah,
People.
but apparently it was delicious because they would make special trips to resupply at these islands.
All I know is I don't hear about any ex-cannibal tribes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
You ever
Seems
watch,
like once you go, you don't go back.
you ever watch Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
No,
Did you see the one where they now I forgot his name.
Danny DeVito.
What's his character's name?
Frank.
He kept finding
only
out they were
person I
stealing
know
his
that's in
like
it.
he was buying this like expensive and exotic meat and keeping in his freezer. Well, they were stealing it. So he put some in there and didn't label it. And then after they ate it, he convinced them that it was human meat. So the whole episode is them trying to figure out if they're cannibals or not.
Dude, that show, one of my favorites is, him and Charlie live together and they share a futon. They're trying to figure out who pooped the bed. And they take it to like a lab filing. The guy's like, straw, bird seed, pregnancy prevention. They're like, inconclusive.
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But yeah, they wake up, there's a singular turd in the bed. But then there's all these theories. I think it turns out like Artemis snuck in and did it like between them. But it's like a true crime show where everybody's like a clue who done it. They're trying to figure out who pooed their futon.
That show is great.
Yeah. Well, Charlie goes and gets religious and decides he's not drinking anymore. And then anyways, Mac. Is Mac. He decides he doesn't want to drink anymore, so he's going to take them all on a cruise. Like, all right, let's go. He doesn't tell them it's a Christian cruise. So one of my favorite lines on that show, they show up, and Charlie's looking for a drink. Him and Frank, they're like, what do you got here? She's like, oh, we got, Sprite. We got some Fanta over here. We got sweet tea. He goes, you guys are just drinking mixers? So now anytime I go to a party, there's just regular stuff. Like, you guys are just hanging around drinking mixers? Like,
I liked whenever
they sink the ship trying to drink the diesel fuel at the end.
I like whenever they all went to therapy and Max sits down. They said, so what's going on? He goes, I just recently went where I gained 100 pounds and then I lost 100 pounds and I got broke up with and then I did this. And they were like, wait, what?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, so jot that down.
He's like, I did all that in a month.
It's impossible. No way you put on that much weight and took it off in that amount of time. First of all, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, so jot that down. They had one where they were in a Revolutionary War setting, and they all lisped when they talk because their teeth for the entire episode. They talk like this. It was so freaking funny.
The show's great.
It is pretty good. It's solid.
Oh, yeah. I guess we got to do ads before we finish this thing.
Oh, speaking of, don't get anybody a mouthpiece for Christmas if they're going to also be on that website.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, you go to, like, hotels and stuff. It's always like, somebody booked this room in the last couple hours.
Yeah.
My mom wanted to get me a mouthpiece from New Age, and I knew she was going to, and I was trying to get the link to work. Well, I clicked on the link, and it popped up on the bottom. I could show you. Lisa C. in Knoxville bought this mouthpiece a few hours ago. So I know exactly which one she ordered and everything. He's like, good thing it wasn't a surprise. Like, no kidding.
He sent me the screenshot and said, busted. Well, he's looking it up.
But speaking of that, that is a good Christmas present.
I showed you today at work, didn't I?
It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of which,
I got the Iron Man one.
Nice.
anyways, which ad you hitting?
Zone smelling salts. Hey, I saw a thing they've resupplied, they've restocked.
Get it while it's hot.
Yeah. I mean, they've been out of stock forever.
They have.
And-
I got to get on there, actually.
And I mean, they're out of stock for a reason because these are awesome and they go like hotcakes. Some of the best smelling salts in the business. Zone. This is Zone Bear Down Steel, the Frost edition. It's got a little minty kick to it. Highly recommend it.
Oh.
Yeah. Woo!
Sorry, I was watching something. I got a little emotional.
Oh.
The picture of Bert.
But But yeah, Zone Smelling Salts. Use promo code TIPP and get a big discount and get great smelling salts.
And the biggest problem you're going to have is, do you want the gold or do you want the red? Am I right?
Yeah.
I don't know. They both look good.
I mean,
it's gold.
Caleb has already jumped on the side to order his own to re-up. So if that tells you anything.
Yeah, when was the last time I bought something live on podcast?
Yeah, it's usually me.
Yeah. Holland orders everything we talk about.
The last 3 photos on my phone, for some reason, they cracked me up. Burt Reynolds, Smokey the Bandit, peace sign. Bigfoot. And then a screenshot of me Googling, what was the name of the whale that bullied Rome?
So for the record,
A man of varied interests. For the record,
the scent of the Golden Tides, which might be the one I order,
yeah,
is ammonia with a strong stench of eucalyptus and peppermint.
ooh,
What's that called? Golden shower, you said?
Golden Tides.
Oh, close.
So it features
Both have ammonia.
So it features in collaboration with Travis Papa Bear Rogers. We created Bear Down Steel collection. As mentioned, Bear Down Steel is a highly advanced athletic salt that is not for beginners. Proceeds of sales support the Papa Bear Strong Foundation.
Why would you want to pop a bear, dude?
Well, you know, if it's a black bear, it's trying to eat
Popping
you,
back,
you
son.
know.
Yeah. But make sure you're like popping it, not like popping it. You got
If it's a grizzly, though,
Drop the gat.
yeah. The yeah.
all right. Anyway, so NutriFit also running. One of these days I'll grab something else to bring out here for this ad. But
Quaaludes.
That is a good product, though.
But Regenesis is great. Thought the bottle was cracked. It's not, because it's great. So Regenesis is great. They've got a bunch of other stuff. I actually just ordered a bunch myself. They are currently running a Black Friday sale. I don't know if that's going to be true when this episode comes out, but go find out. So code CalebCDay also stacks on the site-wide discounts. So
Nice.
I ordered a bunch of stuff. You should order a bunch of stuff. We've had other friends order a bunch of stuff. I'm sure Michael will order a bunch of stuff.
You know, and I have yet to hear anybody
No.
be disappointed from anything that they've gotten from NutriFit.
My only complaint has been it works too good. Like, there are days I get a little too amped up.
It's like, there's a Family Guy where Lois makes Peter go to the doctor, but he doesn't go. And then he comes back and she's like, well, what did the doctor say? And he said that I was in good health, that I was in too good a health, that I was in too good a health is what he said.
So, NutriFit
Works too good.
then Houseware.
Houseware. Yeah, houseware.com. If you don't get a shirt from our Etsy shop, which you should, but if you don't, you should get one from Houseware. Or you should actually make everybody happy. Get shirts from both places. Give them as Christmas presents.
Both of them.
Both of them. But houseware.com, code TIPP gets you a discount from them. They've got a lot of shirts that are strongman related, a lot of shirts for Highland games, just strength sports in general, but shirts, hoodies, shorts, hats, all kinds of gear. Check them out.
They got gear?
Yeah.
I mean, that's on the Patreon only section, but
Yeah, if you order from our Etsy page, which all the links for all these ads are going to be in the description. So just to make it easier on you, just go down, find the one that says, you know, if you're wanting NutriFit, there's a link right next to it. Just click that one. If you want to go and buy some stuff from our Etsy shop, guess what? The link is there. So follow that link. And then for every $100 spent, I will put some gear in the box for you.
nice.
Find out what gear it is.
Yeah. You buy a shirt from us, you'll hit a new bench PR.
Guaranteed.
I mean, it's just the way it works.
As long as you haven't benched previously.
They run small. Just they run small just so that it works like a bench shirt, you know. Yeah. I'm gonna start putting.
We purposely buy slender back shirts so they run a little tight.
Slender back.
Actually, whenever shirts first, I mean, I know Holland knows, but whenever they first started wearing shirts, it was Louis Simmons. Why do I feel like that's not his name? I always feel like I say his name wrong.
Louis Simmons. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, it was his idea to cut the back of it so you could wear it. You could go down a size, cut the back of it so that it really pulls your arms this way, so that you're like. So now that's just the standard. Cut it in half. Speaking of which, whenever I was watching that video on the bench press average,
Yeah.
you know what the current world record is for a bench press?
7
More than 100 pounds.
No, I'm talking about like equipped
Oh.
heaviest bench press ever.
Oh, so the BS one.
Now, normally I'd agree with you, but when I seen this number, there's some respect on
it's
it.
like 1,100 pounds or something, isn't it? 12?
1401.
14?
1401. That's what I'm saying. Okay.
He's wearing an Iron Man suit. You know, I mean, come on.
I mean, yeah, like it's nuts. I mean, but regardless of what is pushing the weight up, think about how much is on your wrists.
But when they're benching more than the world record squat, like
It's not impressive.
well, you know that's that brings me. So when Kent and I were in Iceland, we were watching the World Equipped, the Equipped World Championships, and whatever flight we were, there were a lot of guys that were squatting in the 800s, you know, but you know they're fully equipped. They're going to deadlifts and they're not deadlifting in the 800s. They're deadlifting in the 600s and 700s. And Kent was like, why are their deadlifts so much less than their squats? I was like, well, because a deadlift suit doesn't help you as much as a squat suit helps you. And he was like, well, then I was like, yeah, I know. It doesn't, it's who's got the best suit.
It really is.
I mean, like,
That's my biggest beef with equipped lifting is it really is who's got the most money for a good suit. How well does that suit fit you?
yeah. I mean, like, you know, and if, I mean, most people raw, their squat and deadlift are pretty similar.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time in a raw lift, their deadlift is heavier.
Mm-hmm.
Then you get equipped and it's the opposite, but it's just because the squat suit helps more.
Yeah, well, you got a squat suit and knee wraps.
Yeah.
Like deadlift, you've just got the suit and a belt.
Yeah.
But squat, you've got knee wraps, belt, suit, like everything that is going to make you stand up.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to say it.
I wouldn't have if you didn't go like that when you said it.
All right, on that note,
Good thing Al wasn't drinking anything at that time.
Obviously, he's in a knee wraps and gimp suits.
Knee wraps and ball gags.
I think here's a great time to end the
That's the
show.
name of his mixtape. Knee wraps and ball gags.
If you've made it this far in the episode, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all the things everybody tells you to do. It costs you nothing, so why not?
Wraps and ball gags, volume 2.
End things on a quote. I fear no man, no beast, or evil, brother. Hulk Hogan.